UFC Fight Night. Josh Emmett versus Kevin Vallejos was down this Saturday night in the Meta Apex. So happy we're back in the Apex. But this is actually a good card and probably deserves a crowded arena. But nevertheless, I'm going to go through the entire card, give my picks and predictions, who I think is going to be victorious. Opening up the card, we've got a badass fight. Piero Rodriguez versus Sam Hughes. Real ones know this fight already went down before. Piero Rodriguez got the better of Sam Hughes and won a pretty solid decision win. Sam Hughes is okay. She's a bit of a cardio merchant. She'll mog low-level WMA fighters like Shauna Bannon, which she did in her last fight. But she won't beat anyone half decent in the UFC. I do believe Pereira Rodriguez is half decent, coming off of some decent wins against Ketlin Souza. Is she? I don't know. Or was that Sam Hughes? It could have been Luciano. I'm not too sure. Quote me on that. But I'm going to pick Pereira Rodriguez to replicate that performance and get another decision win over Sam Hughes. Moving on. Yes, you watching, you are fighting Elijah Smith. So good luck, because Elijah Smith is pretty good. Obviously, Elijah Smith's coming off that slam KO like in his last time out against Toshimi Kazama. I think the guy's name was something like that. Toshimi Kazama. Fresh 23 years old prospect, beating Vince Morales in his debut. A crafty fighter. Vince Morales is decent. We shouldn't give Raul Rosas Jr. problems. So I think Elijah. I don't mind Elijah Smith. I think he's okay. Getting a bit too overhyped now after that slam KO. I don't see him going out there and destroying Song Yu like that again. However, I do think he gets a decision victory over Su Yong Yu. However, Su Yong Yu is a pretty good grappler. Will look to take Elijah Smith down. I could see him out grappling Elijah Smith to a decision, but I will pick Elijah Smith to beat Song Yong Yu by decision. Su Yong Yu has some decent wins. Went out there, beat Zhao Long, as we saw last week. Mr. Nutshot Zhao Long. Win over the AJ Cunningham. Not the best win, but a win is a win. Yeah, I'm going to pick Elijah Smith by decision. Just got to be aware of the grappling threat from Su Yong Yu because he is an okay grappler. Next up, Bia Mesquita versus Montez, whoever this is, Montez Rendon. Don't know who Montez Rendon is. Call me a casual you want. However, I do know who Bia Mesquita is. A BJJ legend, 34 years of age, a bit old to be on the up and coming, but she's recently transitioned, so I can understand that. Very good grappling. Had an incredible performance in her debut. I know it was against Irina Aliskova, not the best level of comp, but she went out there completely out grappled, dominated, and got the submission win. And I think she will do the exact same to Montez Rendon. There is not many WMMA fighters I think will be able to stop Bia Mesquita's grappling. There's question marks on the feet. These fighters that come over from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu backgrounds look a bit dodgy on the feet, but I think Bia Mesquita will be able to defeat the low level of comp in this division like Montez Rendon and get herself another submission victory. So I'm going with Piero Rodriguez by decision, Elijah Smith by decision, and Bia Mesquita by submission. Next up, Luan Lacerda versus Heker Souza. That's probably not how you say it, but Luan Lacerda is very low level, bottom of the barrel UFC fighter. Went out there in his last fight, submitted Simon Oliveira, who is a complete can himself. 4 losses in a row in the UFC himself, Simon Oliveira. Previously, before that, Lacerda lost by TKO to Demon Blackshear. A Davy Grant victim, Demon Blackshear. However, Hector Souza, on his Dana White Contender Series fight, looked very good. Dominant grappling decision. It was like watching Oliveira versus Holloway, like watching JDM versus Islam Makhachev. That type of performance where he just gave the opponent no chance, completely out grappled him from minute 1 to 15, and got a dominant victory. I am going to pick Hector Souza to replicate that entire performance, but submit Luan Lacerda. Hector Souza by submission. Bottom of the barrel guy, Luan Lacerda. I think this is a good matchup for Hector Souza. Heche. I don't know how to say his name. I'm not Spanish. Sorry. But I think Hector Souza can get the submission win or a decision win. Next up, Balaji Oki versus Manuel Souza. Decent fight in the lightweight division. Balaji Oki is always a fun guy, always brings it. However, he always gasses out. Pretty evident in his last fight with the Welsh gangster. No, that's not Van Elliott. Mason Jones, another Welsh gangster, Mason Jones, where he just cardio mogged him. You know, when Balaji went out there, absolutely dominated Mason Jones in that first round, to be fair. But it just gassed out, and Mason Jones got the TKO, got on top in mount, landed some nice ground and pound, and put Balaji out for a TKO win. Manuel Souza, in his Dana White Contender Series fight, had a bit of a crafty war on the feet. However, showed great cardio and got a late KO. Pretty good striking on the feet, nice little round 3 KO. And I cannot. This is a 50-50 fight. You know, you're picking on whether, but Balaji has the skills to beat Manuel Souza. It's a complete 50-50 fight. It's just whether will Balaji gas out or not. And I think he will. I'm going to pick Manuel Souza to get a late TKO finish over Balaji. However, I could be wrong. Balaji could have had major improvements in the cardio, and he could easily beat Manuel Souza. But I'm going to pick Manuel Souza by a late TKO or decision win, maybe winning the last 2 rounds of the fight. But Balaji will start fast and could put him out early. But I'm going to go with Manuel Souza. Next up, Maitobek Orobai, the caveman himself, the prehistoric human, Maitobek Orobai. Staying at welterweight after his great performance against Jack Manson, and he's taking on an uncle of the division, the crybaby himself, Chris Curtis. That should be his nickname, Chris Crybaby Curtis. I don't know what his nickname is, but he should have it. That's that. Chris Curtis beat, who did he beat in his debut? Max, not Forrest Griffin, Max Griffin. Max Griffin in his debut, pretty boring fight, dominant, low output striking battle. Chris Curtis got the better of, but Max Griffin is not good. And Chris Curtis has proved that he can't hang with the younger guys, the talented guys, at least in the middleweight division. And I think Maitobek Orobai will give him the same exact problems Chris Curtis faced in the middleweight division when he's fighting guys. Yes, he did do well against Brendan Allen, to be fair. But Brendan Allen always looks like that. Brendan Allen looks shit no matter who he fights. Losses to Kopilov, Imavov. These aren't bad losses, but Chris Curtis can't hang with the new guard. And I predict Maitobek Orobai to TKO Chris Curtis in the second. I think Chris Curtis will last the round. You've got to give one thing to Chris Curtis. He's very durable, has good cardio. We've seen Orobai get in wars. I know Mateusz Rebecki is a very good fighter, but Orobai can be hit. Orobai's head is there to be hit. We've seen it in fights before. But the guy nearly killed Jack Manson in his last fight. That's not obviously why he's going to beat Chris Curtis, but the KO power is there on Maitobek Orobai. He's shown it before in fights against guys like Uros Medic, Brenner. Obviously didn't KO those guys, but looked good on the feet. Nice submission win over Musayev. I think the guy was called on that Baku card, had a little hype. Orobai just went out there and subbed him straight away. Yeah, Orobai has the skills to win the fight wherever. I think he'll get the TKO in the second. So I'm going with Heke Souza by submission, Manuel Souza by TKO, and Maitobek Orobai by TKO as well. 3 finishes. Next up, battle of 2 unks that aren't really UFC level anymore. Brad Tavares versus Eric Anders. What a fight, incredible fight. Big title aspirations in the lines for both these 2 guys here. If Michael Bisping's on commentary, he will get pissed at Brad Tavares breaking his record of the Octagon control time or time in the Octagon or some bullshit like that. That's the only real claim Michael Bisping has nowadays, other than beating Luke Rockhold. Anyway, we're on about this. Fuck Michael Bisping at the moment. I'm going with Brad Tavares by decision. Both guys are very mid. This would be such a boring, low output striking battle on the feet. But I think Brad Tavares will get the better of Eric Anders. Brad Tavares, last time out, lost to Robert Brajcek. Never believe in yourself and give up. Yes, that guy, Robert Brajcek, he lost by KO. Unless one of these go out there and get a nasty KO win, cut them both. There's no point keeping them around unless you're going to feed them to prospects. Actually, no. You could feed them to prospects like Penis, what's the other guy's name? People like that. Brad Tavares has a more recent win. He beat GM3. That's a crafty win. GM3 is solid guy. Well, not really anymore, but yeah, give me Brad Tavares by decision. This is a shit fight. I don't know why I spent so long talking about it. Now, next up, most overrated flyweight in the world versus Bruno Silva. Charles Johnson thinks he should be champ because he beat Joshua Van and Lona Kavanagh. Or I should say, fluked Lona Kavanagh. He did dominate Joshua Van though. In this retard Charles Johnson's mind, he still thinks he will beat Joshua Van and Lona Kavanagh if they ever fought again, which he is yeah, interesting. But I'm gonna pick Charles Johnson by TKO. I just think Bruno Silva's shit. Just because I think Charles Johnson's overrated doesn't mean I think he's bad. I just think Charles Johnson's okay. Bruno Silva's shit. Give me Charles Johnson by a late TKO. Maybe early, I don't know. Charles Johnson by TKO. Some great analysis there. This is what you're all here for. Next up, wow, what a fight. Tim the Tapman versus Vitor Petrino. How the fuck can you predict heavyweight MMA? This fight goes one of two ways. Vitor Petrino gets the KO early, or Asplan cardio and mogs him like he did to Sean Sharaf. What one do you pick? I'm gonna go with Vitor Petrino. Vitor Petrino early KO over Stephen Asplan. I think it would be too much for Stephen Asplan too early in his career. Yeah, they should have that. And Asplan took this on short notice. There's rumours though of Vitor Petrino with a broken hand. I've seen that on Twitter, but I don't think that'll affect him. I think he will get the early TKO over Stephen Asplan. Asplan relies on his volume, which doesn't really work against competent heavyweights like Vitor Petrino. Yeah. I've got Brad Tavares by decision, and Charles Johnson and Vitor Petrino by KO. Next up, our boy Harry Hardwick, the Bora Army. We will be taking on Marwan Rahiki, aka Rakai, the Twitch streamer. But I am worried for Harry Hardwick here. Rahiki does look solid, young. Is he? No, I think he's. I don't think he's undefeated. Very, very good on the feet. Although he did get dropped in his debut. In the Dana White Contender Series fight against Malamba, got put down with a nice overhand. I don't think Harry Hardwick can do that to him though. Oh fuck! Am I gonna pick Hardwick? Marwan Rahiki is very kick heavy, and we've seen Harry Hardwick get literally put in a wheelchair due to low kicks. Yes, it was Cali Fernandez, one of the best fighters in the lightweight division outside the rankings. I'm going to go with Harry Hardwick. Absolutely no bias. I'm definitely not from the UK, anything like that. I'm going to go with Harry Hardwick by decision. I pray he beats Marwan Rahiki. I'm very scared that we see another Cali Fernandez and Harry Hardwick gets cut. And the Hardwick bros will never make it in the UFC, sadly. But that will not happen. Harry Hardwick will get a crafty decision victory over Marwan Rahiki. We've just got to watch out that first round. Maybe take him down, Harry Hardwick. Use that Tism power and overrun the prospect, Marwan Rahiki. Come on, Harry Hardwick. No bias at all. Next up, oh my days, how good is Nathaniel Wood? Beat both of these guys as an underdog. Yes, he did beat Jose Delgado. Again, no bias at all. Clear victory for Nathaniel Wood against Jose Delgado. No, Jose Delgado is very good, and I think he's going to get a first round KO over Andre Fili. I do not think Andre Fili is good at all. He's declining, had a boring fight against Christian Rodriguez. Sub by Melchizedek Costa. Melchizedek Costa is very good, don't get me wrong, but just put himself in a guillotine. I think he I think he robbed Swanson in the big 24 or 25 whenever that went down. Not a good look. And then got absolutely fucking destroyed by Dan Ige, and I can see an exact replica of the Dan Ige fight happening. Jose Delgado gonna land a clean shot down the middle, put Arjo Philly down, land some ground and pound, and Delgado will earn his shot on the edge of the rankings, maybe in the rankings. Yeah, I think this is probably one of the locks of the card, so don't be surprised if he loses now. Jose Delgado by KO. Now, next up, Umar Sy versus Ion Cutelaba. This is a very close fight. Both these guys are very talented. Well, not talented, but no, start that again. Umar Sy and Ion Cutelaba, they're both okay. Mid-level, just outside the rankings. But I'm going to go for Umar Sy by decision. I think he'll just have too much on the feet. He'll be too fast for Ion Cutelaba. Ion Cutelaba probably will come out there swinging pretty fast. Could put Umar Sy away early. But I think Umar Sy may even look to take him down. Use his size. Umar Sy is a much bigger fighter here. Obviously, I'm pretty sure he trains with that dirty fucking cheat Cyril Gane, so he probably learnt a few cheating techniques to get ahead of Ion Cutelaba. Neither of these guys are really elite. You know, we've seen Umar Sy get fraud checked by Alonso Menefield, and Ion Cutelaba's just been around for years, just an unk. Gatekeeper of the division, just goes out there, fraud checks prospects like Ibo Aslan, and then gets destroyed. Oh, to be fair, Modestas Bukauskas did rob him, but Modestas Bukauskas isn't exactly that good either. But yeah, I'm going to go for Umar Sy, crafty 29-28 decision. I think Ion Cutelaba may win the first. Umar Sy will use his wrestling and outstrike and outgrapple Ion Cutelaba as the fight goes on and get himself to another victory in the light heavyweight division. So yeah, I'm going for Harry Hardwick by decision, Jose Delgado by KO, and Umar Sy by decision. We are now on to the co-and main event of the card. Co-main event, Amanda Lemos versus Gillian Robertson. Ooh, what a fight. We love a bit of WMMA. I'm assuming this is 3 rounds, which nobody wants 5 rounds of this shit. This is literally your typical striker v grappler matchup. Lemos, great. She's not a great striker. She's a striker. A good enough striker in this division compared to some of the guys like Robertson. Whereas Robertson is your typical grappler, is going to want to take you down, land, ground and pound, look for the sub. But Amanda Lemos, we have seen her lose to grapplers before, but they have been the elite in the division. Your Tatiana Suarez's, your Zhang Weili's. But Weili is elite on the feet. I don't think Gillian Robertson is good at all on the feet. I think she sucks on the feet. She has to take Amanda Lemos down to win this fight. Amanda Lemos will be will have the clear advantage on the feet. And I think Amanda Lemos will be able to stuff the takedowns of Gillian Robertson and get her way to a crafty decision win over Gillian Robertson, maybe even a late TKO. Gillian Robertson can't really strike. We've seen her go out there with some low-level comp and have problems. Whereas Amanda Lemos has been at the top of the strawweight division for years, picking up underrated wins against Mackenzie Dern, Luciano, that fucking drug cheat. I think Lemos will use it. Yeah, she's 38, so I can understand a Gillian Robertson pick here. She's been out grappled many times before, but I just don't think she has the striking to set the grappling up. And we see Lemos have success against Tatiana Suarez. I know she lost the fight, a couple of nice reversals. I just think, I know this doesn't always work like this. You see it with guys like JDM and Leon Edwards. They're constantly fighting grapplers, so they're mainly training grappling. Amanda Lemos is going to have major improvements in the grappling, and I think she will go out there and get a decision win over Gillian Robertson. I could be wrong though. This could be the exact polar opposite, and we could have seen 3 rounds of Gillian Robertson control and a boring decision win. But I think Lemos will get it done. Moving on now to the main event. Josh Emmett versus Kevin Vallejos. Kevin Vallejos, I've got to say it now, he's probably one of the best prospects in the whole sport right now. I think he's 17-1, he's only lost coming to that dirty motherfucker John Silva. He will get that win back in the future. They will rematch for the belt. Actually, Luke Riley will beat Kevin Vallejos for the belt. But we're on about the fight here, not Luke Riley and John Silva. Josh Emmett hasn't won a fight since he nearly killed Bryce Mitchell. But Bryce Mitchell, as much as we all love Bryce Mitchell, the guy cannot strike. Kevin Vallejos is one of the best strikers in the whole sport probably right now. I think he'll be too fast for Josh Emmett. He'll move, like, Josh Emmett's only going to win if he lands a bomb of an overhand or a hook on you, and I don't think Kevin Vallejos will be there for them. I got Kevin Vallejos by TKO in the second. I think he's going to slip a massive hook or overhand from Josh Emmett, land a nice counter strike, put Emmett down, land some ground and pound. And we've seen it with Josh Emmett as of late, can't keep up with the young generation. I think, is Josh Emmett 40? He's like 38, 39, 40, 41, one of them ages. Can't keep up with the younger generation, which is no embarrassment. He's been in the sport for years, knocking out guys at the top of the featherweight division. And your downfall comes eventually, and this is Josh Emmett's downfall. Good matchmaking for once by the UFC. Slowly building a guy like Kevin Vallejos. You know, they could have thrown him in there with a Diego Lopez, a Steve Garcia, and Aljamain Sterling. But I like this, slowly building him up. However, I do not like. It's understandable he's a massive favourite to win, but that they could always put like a bit too much pressure on Kevin Vallejos to go out there and deliver. But I think he gets this one done by TKO in the second. Yeah, I got Kevin Vallejos beating Josh Emmett and Amanda Lemos beating Jillian Robertson. Let me know what you guys think. Please drop a like, subscribe, it'd be greatly appreciated. Follow me on Twitter, or X as it's called now, and TikTok, same name, Dilly MMA. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Goodbye.